Yami Virgen continues our team coverage from a highway between Eagle Pass and Del Rio, where nighttime and cold temperatures don't mean a stop to the flow of migrants.
It's a dark road. US 277 runs between Eagle Pass and Del Rio, Texas. And in the middle of the night, as temperatures drop, this is the last thing anyone would expect to suddenly pop up. Just like Maverick County Sheriff Tom Schmerber warned us.
It's Quemados crossing. That's why a lot of them are close to Del Rio, El Indio.
This is what we found last night on our drive to Del Rio. A couple of hundred immigrants wet from crossing the cold river, waiting for Border Patrol to get them on buses to be processed. But 35 miles away in Del Rio, the situation is a little different from what we saw early Wednesday morning.
Right now, with what's going on in Eagle Pass, the majority of them are down there. If things start to change, if the pattern starts to shift to this area, you know, I think that we'll have to hold the fort down till the resources are put in place.
Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez knows what it's like to have thousands of immigrants surging in his county. Last year, the Haitian surge of immigrants was right here. And what we saw in Del Rio was completely different than what we saw last night. Smaller number of immigrants crossing near the international bridge from Acuña, Mexico into Del Rio.
I know that they're fleeing a desperate situation, whatever country they're from.
Nicaragua,
I feel for them, but at the same time, they have to consider their journey, especially when they get to the border in these conditions. You know, getting into the water, coming out of the water, it's 47, 48 degrees. You know, so if they come into remote areas like this, you know, and there's no help, you know, they can perish right then and there.
Martinez is not surprised that the Biden administration asked for a delay for the end of Title 42, the health policy used during COVID to expel asylum seekers until after Christmas. As the sheriff showed us, all he has to do is drive by the river and see the remains of a lack of cooperation from Washington, D.C. when it comes to keeping our border secure. So what you see here is the bush fence. Now, the bush fence used to be where the Trump fence is over there. So they wanted something bigger, bolder, so they cut the bush fence, put it here, and then they put these up to hold it up. But as you can see, there is a gap. So who's it stopping? I mean, you can definitely sneak something through there. You can sneak through there. I mean, if you want to, you can squeeze through that area. And this is what is exasperating for Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez. How much more help do you think you're going to need if those numbers do go up as much as we're expecting?
So I think that if numbers go up, we're going to need a lot more help.
All these sheriffs can do now is plead with immigrants waiting to come across not to cross through the river as Arctic temperatures are about to hit South Texas.
I would have them consider, you know, using the port of entry. You know, coming out in rural areas like this is not a good plan.
In Del Rio, Yami Virgen, Fox News at 9.